Let's look at the fish. All right, first up, let us be absolutely shocked, appalled, disgusted even. Any negative adjective that your brain can come up with by some crappy aquariums. Don't read that word, YouTube. Don't read that word, because I'll get demonetized. What the? I won't cuss for the sake of the channel, but what in God's name is this? Holy. This looks like, that's the end of Evangelion for angelfish. What is... This reminds me of something and I can't think of what it is. Hopefully just tannins and too many fish and not actually piss water, you mean? No, it reminds me of something and I can't think of what it is, but oh well. The vat in Evangelion? You might be right, actually. That might be what I'm thinking of. Oh my god, what is with the... Okay, we've got yellow and we've got green so far. Keep track of the colors of aquariums that we go through today. I'm sure we'll go through some nice ones. Yeah, this is sewage water. This is nice. Oops. Some nice sewage water. Did you guys know that like a sewage outbreak in a stream usually ends up being like a brownish or grayish color, depending on how it is? We found a stream this year that was just like gray. It was so weird. It was like a normal stream that we had been to a month or so before, and it was normal colored. The entire, like the water looked gray. Like, it looked like someone had taken the black and white filter on, a phone camera or whatever and turned it up. It was very odd. We found out that there was some kind of like construction thing going on upstream, and they were just dumping concrete into the stream. Because nobody cares. Because fish don't matter, and you can just dump concrete into a stream, and no one will care ever. There is a stream in New Jersey. Now, you guys know, I love the Bridal Shiner. I love the Bridal Shiner, okay? There are only 2, maybe 3 places. There are only 2 places in New Jersey that the Bridal Shiner exists in any abundance. It exists somewhere, in other places, whatever. One of these streams, the most abundant location of this shiner in the entire state, and probably the most abundant place for this fish in its entire range, this fish which by multiple states is considered to be a threatened species. This stream is in a rich area in New Jersey, okay? A town called Montgomery. Sounds rich, it is rich. Lots of people there have pools. They don't have in-ground pools for whatever reason. Most of the people don't have in-ground pools. They have those like tall, above-ground, stand-up pools. And they fill those with their pool water, and they have their pool all summer. And right about now, when it starts getting too cold for them to go swimming anymore, they say, oh man, what do I do with my pool water full of chlorine and other chemicals? F it, just dump it. And so they dump the entire pool full of chlorinated water in this area, which is like, there is no riparian buffer. There's no plant life on the side of the stream. It is stream and then sloped into people's backyards. And so people just pour out their entire pools of chlorine water into a stream which holds probably the most abundant population of a threatened species. And it's fine. And you know what? The government's been contacted about it. The people have actually been told about this. And they're like, yeah, we'll get back to you about it. We'll look into it. You know what they said? No, actually, they have the right to do that. Legally, somehow, they have the right to dump their entire pool full of chlorine into a stream occupied by a threatened fish. Absolutely insane. I was at this stream. I've never seen the impacts of it. I guess I had never been fishing there in like this time of year. I was there like a week or 2 ago. It's disgusting. The entire stream is just full of filamentous algae, right? I couldn't find a single shiner in the area that I was at. I fished for like 45 minutes. I found 2 sunfish and a tessellated darter. That's it. I didn't find a single shiner. This stream, by the way, has the highest diversity of any stream that the New Jersey government samples. Of all of the streams that the New Jersey government samples in the entire state, this has the most species of fish in it. The most different species of fish, including multiple vulnerable species. I couldn't find a single one. I could find 2 red-breast sunfish and a tessellated darter in 45 minutes of looking, including looking in places that normally have them. Now I imagine if I go high enough upstream, hopefully I'll be able to find what I'm looking for. In fact, I'm probably going to go back there to look for comely shiners when I need to get those to put in my aquarium. But it's insane. It's, yeah, just absolutely disgusting. Anyways, back on topic. Green fish tank. Be happy, not sad. Don't take my frustrations with humans and the government. Put those aside and let's look at some funny fish tanks. Fuck rich people, eat the rich. Except we need to be very specific about what rich means. We eat the normal rich, or the too rich, not the normal rich. She is lucky those glowfish lived for a week. Bet she never heard of overcrowding either by the looks of it. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say they know what overcrowding is. They just wanted to make a viral TikTok. That is a lot of fucking tetras, man. That is a lot and a lot and a lot of tetras. Just what the tank. Ah, yes, that's so true. I wonder what this tank's in need of. Oh, that's right. More glowfish or neon tetras, whatever you want to call them. Some people have have corrected me about glowfish versus neon tetra and what's actually a neon tetra versus like what is a neon injected tetra kinetically versus injected and so forth. Anyways, this is gross. Found at the public hospital. Thoughts? Oh my god. A tall tank for goldfish. Interesting. I mean, tall tanks never really work for... Oh, Jesus, it's so much smaller than it looked in the first picture. That's crazy. I feel like tall tanks are usually kind of a failure because, like it or not, the more surface area you have to the sky, the more diffusion you're going to have with oxygen into the water. And even if you don't have like a betta fish or like a lung-breathing fish that needs to get to the surface, you're still just ending up with a lot less oxygen, especially with something like this. Not to mention the size. Those fish, I mean, they'll survive. They're goldfish, right? They're invincible, but they don't look so good. Where did I go wrong? Are my ammonia levels too high? What the fuck? Please tell me that's a toy fish. Please tell me that's a toy fish. I'm gonna go and say that is a toy fish. This is literally like the size of the things that we use to take pictures of fish. Like the one I'm building right now, this is the size of it, bro. Like literally fit my hand in like this. That is how big that one is. Yeah, they also filled half of it with what little room they had to work with. They filled half of it with pink gravel. They're like, oh, you know what? This tank's a little bit too big. Let me use up the space in this tank by putting some gravel in there. How do you build those? They looked really nice. I sell them. I make all sorts of custom ones. I haven't really announced it. Should I make like a mini announcement? Ghost Boy, you can put this in the video as the end of the video. How about that? Let's make a mini announcement, shall we? I wasn't sure how I was going to announce this or even if I was going to announce this in general. But I have an Etsy. It's AVNJ Microfishing. And I make these tanks custom from scratch. There are, basic tanks that are like what you expected. Precision ones that have rulers built into them. And then there are like master photo tanks, which have a diagonal slit in them that go across that hold the fish in place. And it's how I've gotten some amazing photos. Like I took this photo in that tank. I took that photo in that tank. You'll notice normally a fish in a photo tank will just sort of swim around a bunch and float down and will never have its fins out unless you like shake the tank, but you don't want to do that. This diagonal insert pins the fish in place without hurting them. Pins the fish in place, they just naturally sink down and then they can't really swim too much and their fins naturally come out because they still have room in the water. So you can get a picture like this of a hogsucker with its fins all completely out. These beautiful colors. Whereas normally if you put like I can show you. Let me show you what normally happens when you try to put in it. Let's compare a normal photo tank versus this one. Let's go to my observations. Northern hogsucker. All right, you ready? This is what one looks like in a... This is actually a good photo tank. This is the photo tank I got from Malaysia that inspired me. Notice you can't see any of the fins along the bottom, right? And the fish isn't evenly placed along the glass. And let's say, God forbid, you had a normal empty tank. Like, what is this? This was my first hog sucker I ever caught. Look at the difference in quality when you go to, you know, a tank that I made nowadays with the knowledge that I have nowadays. How much more beautiful things get when you know how to photograph them. I mean, these fish are essentially the same. Their colors are the same. You just can't see the fins in one, you can in the other because of the thing. So yeah, so I make these photo tanks. You can take some pretty amazing photos with them. Obviously, you are limited by your camera, but if you feel limited by the apparatus that you put your fish in to take photos of, you know, like you can never take a good picture of a fish if you ever go dip netting, or maybe even you go normal fishing, photo tanks do the trick. All right, well, I just completed a shitty aquariums video without, how many shitty aquariums did I look at? Like 2? 3 aquariums? I think I looked at 5 total. Yeah, I looked at 5 total aquariums. That's funny, because I just told a bunch of stories. Look, I looked at that, 4 or 5. Yes, they are photo tanks. It says that everywhere. It says photo tank. They are not tanks that fish are meant to be kept in. I mean, they're like 1/10 of a gallon, even if that. All right. Whoa.